Well, good morning. Feeling good? Doing good. Hi, for those of you a little bit confused about the title of the show, Marsha. Well, if you were around in the 60s or so, whatever it was, the Brady Bunch. Sibling rivalry between Marsha and her younger sister. The younger sister was always jealous of Marsha because Marsha was prettier. She got all the attention all the time, and she would just get so mad and say, Marsha. In other words, everything is Marsha. There was some really interesting moments in that show, and it really showed the sibling rivalry that goes on between two sisters or even two brothers. I think it's an appropriate title here. Now, the first thing I'm going to say is I'm not going to just blatantly get into legal matters here, but we're going to talk very general here and call it human psychology, somebody's defense system, and we'll just kind of go with that. You like Jan more, huh? Yeah, Marcia was just all, smoke and mirrors. She was just too out there with her personality, and she knew she was pretty. But sibling rivalry, no, that never happens, does it? I've never had sibling rivalry. No. Now let's give Popeye a chance to simulcast this show if he's not already doing that. So let's give him some time on that. It's very important for him to do so. I mean, what else is he going to do besides go to bingo or something? I don't know. Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? Marsha. In life, when you get yourself into some pretty big doo-doo, it's kind of like this. When you know you're wrong about something, but you proceeded to do something about something that you thought was going to just benefit you and or anybody else. So you make a move to do something, and then you'll realize later on, oops, I didn't know this would have ramifications. I'm sorry I even started this. Oh no, it's just like, if you got a fucking urinary infection or something, you got to pee, but it's going to hurt. Sometimes, according to what you got going on down there. You're going to regret taking that pee, but you got to empty your bladder, right? Alice was hot. Oh, she was funny. She was a good actress. She was in other things too. I don't remember what she was in. Everybody listened to Alice. Well, you have to understand the show to understand what the hell we're talking about. So a lot of us remember the show. Marsha. Okay, so you get this bully who's kind of picking on the other kids and does something terrible that his parents are not going to like. Parents find out about it. What did you do, Junior? I didn't do anything. Well, I understand that you gave one of the other kids a shiner, a black eye. Well, I had to do that. He was bullying me, when in fact he was a bully. Okay. So he had to justify his actions to his mother because he knew he was going to get punished. Well, the family of the other, or shall I say the victim, didn't like it. So they made a big hoop-de-doo about it. Your kid beat up my kid. Had no right to do so, even though that kid could have been a bully himself, and Junior just could have been defending himself. So there's different ways of looking at things, Okay, now, like I said, when you start urinating, I love this, how I'm going to compare this to urinating. You got to finish your flow, right? Because you want to empty your bladder, right? Yeah, that's kind of how it works. Same thing here. You know, when you start something, first of all, you've got to think of what you're doing before you start something, right? Because there could be ramifications down the line, and then it's like, oops, I fucked up. You know, without thinking, you do something, thinking it's going to benefit you somehow, some way. But will it? But you got yourself so deep into something that you have to stick with your statements. Because there's no backing out now. Because if you don't, the whole world could be coming down on you. So you're going to defend yourself and say, well, this is what I say, and I say it's true. Let's get rid of this guy and the problems will be over. Will it? Nah. It's not a very proper way of thinking. You know, when you light a match to gasoline, you know that the gasoline is going to flare up, get on fire. And you can't stop it unless you extinguish it. That's right. But you put that lighter to that gasoline on something, and what the hell did you expect? It's going to go up in flames. Well, same thing here. You could get yourself actually so deep into something that you can't find a way to get yourself out. So you have to get extra ugly. You have to get extra ugly and fugly. And stick to your guns. What I say is true. And I'll swear on a stack of Bibles. And I'm religious as hell. But I'll swear on a stack of Bibles that what I say is true. Now, that's a hypocrite. Really? When the chips are down, we'll test somebody's religion right there. We'll see how steadfast they are on their religious beliefs. You'll find that probably 9 out of 10 highly religious people don't adhere to their religious values. Maybe they need to study theology a little bit deeper. Perhaps. Lying about things, I guess with the Catholic Church, is kind of a sin. There's retribution even in that. Determines whether you go to heaven or you go to fucking fiery hell. Right? Yeah, these are decisions people make. But do you think most people practice what they preach? I don't really think so. Not in my mind. Lying has never got anybody anywhere because the truth shall always be told and it will set you free. Not necessarily free in certain circumstances. But I'm using a little poetic license here. Papa, you got this going yet? I'm sorry, I'm not on my other phone, so I can't tell. I got to make sure that Popeye has enough time to simulcast my show. And if he's not, I'm awfully surprised. I guess he's waiting to hear something that he could use, but it passes his time between his gin and camels. Isn't that right, Popeye? Some wise men out there have certain beliefs. Some of the biggest trolls out there have been heard saying that, this is not going to happen, or that's not going to happen. A little bird told me, I can't see how this is going to happen. Yeah, some of the biggest trolls Oh, they're everywhere. YouTube, Discord, all that. Big discussions going on as we speak. Marsha. Damn. Marsha thought she had it all. In fact, Jan was the most level-headed one of the siblings. Much more intelligent than Marsha. But Marsha got by with her good looks. That's what she did. Marsha was known for that. Okay, let me turn on a fan here. It is starting to get a little toasty in here. I'm sorry if there's any background noise in here, but I think you'll understand. Sometimes, it's not going to be a long show here, but sometimes you do something that you will regret later. You think what you're doing is right, and you're doing things, no matter what it is in life. You're doing something out of anger. You're going to say something that's not unusual on YouTube. I've said things out of anger that I didn't mean, but we get angry sometimes. The difference is how long you continue doing that. All right. Hey, admit the fault when there is fault. That's what you do. But when you start something, just like that piss, you got that stream going. You're not going to stop in the middle of that wonderful stream that you have to empty your bladder out, are you? You're defeating the purpose. So, even if there's a little pain in your stream, for whatever reason it might be, you still have to finish that stream, don't you? Because you got to get it out. You got to get it out. Well, speaking of getting things out, okay, you start something and you do it without thinking, and you think that, well, there's not going to be any ramifications, which is not always true, of course. But when you're doing something out of anger, you can get into an argument with somebody on the street, right? Or maybe, they were in a car and somebody just passed you without signaling, and that pisses you off because that could have caused an accident, right? So you got a choice. Just let it ride and say, what a fucking idiot. Or you could get out of your car and stop them at the stoplight and confront them with a baseball bat or with some, pretty creative language. Or maybe the best part is just to say, yeah, what a fucking idiot. All right, didn't do any damage to my car. He whizzed by me, didn't signal. Leave it be. And then, no repercussions. Maybe the guy who whizzed by you, you give him the finger, whatever it is, and let him know that, hey, what you did was wrong. It was wrong. Will they give a shit? Probably not. In our society. They may decide, even though they did something very wrong, it's the psychology of this today, get out of their car and confront you as if you did something wrong, when you know damn well that the guy didn't do anything wrong. He was just reacting to you whizzing by. Could cause an accident. You didn't signal, idiot. No, I'm not on anything, actually. I am. Excuse me. I'm on sodium chloride in my nose. I use a nebulizer because I get congestion from my and a post-nasal drip back in my throat. That's why I'll go. I mean, I've always had that, so it's nothing new. But no, I'm only on a couple of different things that might help with the stones and things like that. As far as that situation. No pain meds. No, I'm not really hurting when I urinate. I was making a reference to this earlier. I can sometimes feel it in my kidney because it's called back pressure. when you have a stent in, it does something very lovely. Sometimes it's been better though. Thank goodness. You get a little backflow that goes back to your kidney. And yes, at one point, for quite a while, I was feeling very uncomfortable. I've got the combination, it's a steroidal thing, but I guess I don't stay on it long enough to take effect. I'm really trying to avoid decongestions. I got to eat acetaminophen in it and all that crap, and you shouldn't be taking that. I don't know. I'm on something that's similar for my kidney. It's called Flomax. It's actually for the prostate gland, which according to them is a little bit enlarged, but not terribly. But my PSA test, which is the prostate antigen test, I'm at a good number as far as percentage-wise of ever getting prostate cancer. The only problem with a prostate, if it gets too large, it's going to interfere with your flow. And that's not what the show's all about. But since you mentioned that, I might as well give you a good answer. And you'll probably have intermittent pissing, and that's where a lot of these guys that have a really big prostate, they get up 3, 4, 5, 6 times a night. Now that ain't good. You never get any sleep. I remember my brother had that, and they wound up reaming him out. They convinced him to go in there and get a fucking cake mixer and ream the motherfucker out. That didn't help him at all. He was still getting up how many times a night? Only this time it made it worse. In other ways I won't get into. Oh, the finger test. I don't like it whether it's a woman or a man. Well, imagery has found out that my prostate is a little bit larger than normal. It's not by a wide margin. It's not like a big margin. No. The finger test. I don't know, some guys may like that. You like that, Popeye? Maybe your buddy Nico will come over and give you the finger test. You might enjoy it. All right. That wasn't a necessary comment. But you forced me to. Point being made on my morning shoe. Sometimes when you start something, you have no choice but to try to finish it out, because sometimes you can't go back. That's the point. Sometimes you just can't go back because you got yourself into so much fucking doo-doo that there's no way of going back. And you're fully aware that there is possibly ramifications of what you say or do in this life, right? Yeah. I was, thinking about that. But you got yourself in a pile of shit that's so fucking deep that you have no choice but to continue in the direction that you took. Oh yeah, that goes without saying. I think Papa likes to think more. All right, we're in a humorous mood. Obviously, I'm feeling pretty good today. Okay. Excuse me, but I am absolutely going to multitask here. I gotta make something here. Some eggs or something here. Did we run out of bread? We only got a couple of slices. I don't normally like to have a lot of bread. Not really. I gotta keep the protein in, and that's why I gotta eat some eggs. Eggs! Do you remember that? God, it was a movie. Who the hell did it? Was it Rob Zombie that did this? It had to be. And all I remember was this scene. There was this big, fat lady. And she would lay in a crib. And she loved eggs. I mean, she just loved eggs. And all you'd ever hear her saying is, eggs. And everybody would go there and give her eggs. I don't know what she was doing in a crib. Was that a Rob Zombie deal? Does anybody remember that? I don't know if it was Rob Zombie or not. However, it was funnier than shit. I kind of wish I could see that again, but I wouldn't know where to find it because where's my... Oh, God. When you look for something in here, you can't find it. That sucks. Guess I have to use some olive oil, and there's nothing wrong with that, I guess. Eggs! Eggs! That was good. Quite bizarro, I must say. Speaking of eggs, where are my eggs? Oh. You know, you put too many eggs in a basket, and they may overflow, and they might break. I'm not sure what I'm doing with this, really. Oh, come on, horse. You love the finger test. You know that. Come here to massage my prostate. Okay, maybe you don't. Some guys probably would like that. Don't pull your finger out yet. I'm not ready. You know, sometimes you do things that you have deep regret for later on. I've done things like that in my life. I think we all have. The fickle finger of fate. Excuse my COPD here. Yeah, right. No, haven't been blessed with that, and knock on wood here. I'm never going to escape allergies. That's for damn sure. I already know that. Sorry, but I'm always multitasking when I'm on the line here. Contrary to people believe that I'm sitting in a chair all day. The chair! That was epic. Epic. The chair alone. That made me far above any YouTuber. I had style, I had grace. I was part of the human race. My scene always began with this office chair because basically I'd have my camera, which was a digital type of something. And the way my camera worked, though, I mean, you couldn't just, once you started recording, you couldn't really pause it. You just have to stop and, for basic editing, I mean, you couldn't do anything with that. You just really couldn't. Hold on there, folksies. Okay. I think I'm done with this. Where was I before I rudely interrupted myself? Sometimes you get yourself in a situation you just can't pull out. Guy's having sex with his chick and he don't want to get her pregnant. Don't worry, honey. I'm just going to pull out. But too late. Yeah, she gets pregnant. Because you're going to pull out. You should at least use protection. Oh, I'm sorry. Couldn't help myself. Well, some people can't help themselves. Eggs on Jackass? What the fuck are you talking about, bro? Eggs on Jackass. Oh, you mean the other thing I made reference to with that? No, it wasn't Jackass. God, I don't know if it was a Rob Zombie thing or what the hell it was. This was a long time ago. I didn't know what the hell it was about, but I always remember that scene. She had this adult woman, must have weighed 300 pounds in diapers, sitting in a fucking crib. I mean, I don't make this shit up. And I have no idea, but my memory is good enough to remember the show, the movie, or whatever it was, but I just don't really remember what the title of this was. But she just lived on eggs. And she didn't speak much. No, she did, and people just, hand served her all the time whenever she needed eggs. Bizarro shit. Okay, here's my little small breakfast, some scrambled eggs, toast with cream cheese. I gotta get some of the calcium in, I gotta get some of the protein in. No, it wasn't Jackass, the TV show. Okay, my point of everything out here is that unfortunately for some people, when you start something, you gotta finish it, and you may not have any choice about it because you're going to think of the end results of what you did. And it's one of these things like, oh shit, it's too late, so now I have to go full force to remove the problem, which in turn is a problem that maybe the person created for themselves. I'm talking very cryptic here. Purposely. You know what I'm saying? See, then I make a sandwich out of this too, is what I do here. Yummy, 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 I got love in my tummy. I think my weight is stabilized. I lost you where? Where did I lose you, horse? We all get lost sometimes, horse. Even me. I'm just making reference to sometimes people get themselves into a lot of doo-doo because they start something they should have not started. And then it turns on them. Well, I guess you just don't get it. You're not listening enough to my show. Trying to make a point here. I think sometimes people's solution, if I get rid of the problem, then they can't do anything because the problem is gone. That's not true. There are ramifications to everything you do in life. Everything. Sorry, I just want to finish my breakfast. The timing is always not right. Sometimes people will insist that what they say is right, and I'm going to stick to it. Even though they know they're wrong, but they got themselves so deep into it that they have no choice but to follow through. No choice. And they will try to take things as far as they can go. But it never really alleviates the problem that they find as a problem. Get my point? Horse. Don't worry, I'm almost done here with my meal. Oh, now I need some lemon water. I have a ritual here. Just deal with me. Okay, already had my tea with a little bit of turmeric and some honey. Pardon me. Why is water coming out of this pitcher when there's no reason there should? Oh well. Oh, we're just casual style this morning here. You sense any stress in my voice? Nah. Should I? Why? And there is my lemon water. Real lemons, no sugar added. No, sir. No, sir. No sugar added at all. You lost me on the topic. Right as rain. On what? Oh, still kind of tart, but it's good. Don't forget, folks, to flush your system out. Believe me when I tell you, drink a lot of water. I may be saving you from a horrible, horrible fate. Drink. Am I alone? What do you mean, am I alone? I'm never alone. I've got a family. That's right. May not be my blood family, but the best family I ever had for the most part. Excuse me for being rude. No, I'm never alone. Till the day I die, I will not be alone. That's the benefits of having a wonderful relationship. Yeah. Anybody can make judgment on this or that. Oh, whether you got a good relationship or not, or whatever. Hello, dear.
Hi, dear.
Good morning, good morning, good morning to you. Have I told you lately how much I love you? What are you looking at on there?
I make my salary.
Yeah, I'm doing a live show about, how people kind of do things that they regret later. You know, when you start something, Gilda, it's like, then you realize, oh shit, what did I do? That there might be ramifications to everything you do. So what are you forced to do, Gilda, my love? You're forced to forge on, baby. I started something and I gotta finish
You do
it.
it now, you regret later.
Do it now, she says, and you regret it later. Oh, yeah. I'm not alone, horse. I ate my breakfast alone because they eat at different times here and they pick on things. You know, I'm not going to have her cook for me all the time. Sometimes I make up some stuff for myself. She's not my slave. She's my girlfriend. She's not what people, kind of stereotype Filipinas as being your servants or an indentured servant. No, she's neither one.
You're big now. You can make what you want.
She said, I'm big now and I can make what I want. True. Oh, eating alone meant I hate being alone too. Well, fortunately for me, I'm not alone.
It's depend.
Huh?
It's depend.
Depends. Oh. Speaking of depends, hope I never have to wear that. I don't think it's coming down to that. But I think maybe you're getting my point by now, Mr. Horse. No, I'm not alone, Mr. Horse, and no, we generally do eat together. Breakfast, well, everybody gets up at a different time, or they got school or whatever. So, we're not always at the table. Dinner time we are, and if everybody's home here at lunch, we're all together, we have lunch together, and as a family, as a family, as a family. You know what a family is? It don't even have to be blood. Right? Everybody has a weird definition of what family is. Well, it ain't your blood, so it ain't your family. Bullcocky. Family is a union of people together that form a bond, whether blood, biological or not. You may adopt a child, right? That's not your blood. Okay? You didn't conceive this child, but it's your child. That child is your family. It's your child, is it not? So people have a really delusional way of thinking. Oh, at least I have a mother, and she's alive, and well, good for you. I had a mother too, but she's not alive. I had a father too, but he's not alive. They're long gone. Not like I've ever was, you know, void of having parents in my life, void of having a good set of parents that raised me. They may be under some hard conditions. They weren't rich people, but they raised me to be the fine man that I am today. Full of values and a big heart. Could you, um, what'd you say? Being alone can cause very, very deep depression. Fazio being a great example. I hate to bring him up again, but he was horribly alone, and he really did depend on. I mean, you've seen how small a place and how horrible it was that he lived in. It was pathetic. What could he do with his time? So he'd make believe he's actually accomplishing something in his junkyard to show people that, hey, I keep busy all the time. And basically, he'd be doing the same thing over and over again. So he decided one time he has to make a show. So he decided to take out some yellow paint, and I mean, he turned everything yellow. Good tools, everything painted yellow. It gave him a purpose. I joke sometimes Ben and little Joe are with me. Those are my cats. Joke. Well, avoid loneliness at all points if you can. Find a good friend to hang with. Join an organization. Don't go to bingo. Oh, God. That's when you just gave up in life, really. Going to bingo. Right, Popeye? Yeah. God, shoot me before I have to do that. I kind of feel bad for my dad who passed away because I was the last one to leave the nest. At that point, he was divorced from my mom. All he had was his relatives and people in the community. A lot of times he'd find it hard to keep busy, and I felt kind of bad about that. I had to start my life. That's just the way it is. You fly the coop, begin your own life. You can't stay there forever. You got to move on sometimes, and unfortunately, it has bad results because basically I was the only family member that my father had at the time. But the way life is, you got to move on. He understood that. He understood that. But nevertheless, it doesn't mean that it wasn't hard for him because Really, it was. I joke sometimes, but okay. I played lawn darts. A neighbor, they were, and the neighbors were banned. Lawn darts. How old are you, dude? Well, these phones charge pretty fast, don't they? Ricky hasn't been on, hasn't he? Well, not to change the subject here, but the only time Ricky comes on is when he has a girl to show. Have you noticed that? He doesn't want to show anybody how alone he really is. And we're not jumping on him. We're just talking about loneliness here and how it affects people. And sometimes you might go for a pretty long time without having a woman by your side, whether you met them in a natural way or you got to basically deal with escort services and things of that nature. You're old. Well, say how old you are. Nothing, no crime in being older. You got to think differently. I think this way. I'm an older dude, but I had my time of being much younger. We all have. It's not like we were deprived of our youth. We weren't deprived of it. We had it. Just like everybody else. They're getting older too, Horst. They're getting older too. They could joke about what age you are, but, if they live their life righteously, they may get to your age. A lot of them don't. At a much younger age. Oh yeah, we did have the best music. We certainly did. I'm very proud to have grown up when I did. Not this rap shit. God, they'd have the nerve to be on like the Rock Awards shows and get trophies and all that shit. And they got people like Snoop Dogg and P. Diddy and all these people that were on there in time. That's not rock music. They should not, rock Hall of Fame type of shit. That's bullshit. That ain't rock music, and it should be just a separate category. Horst says, I worked my life away. I retired, and everyone left me alone. Sometimes that's better. I follow a little bit this one guy's show who's living frugal, and he's making money at it too. He's living off the grid in the deserts of Arizona. I don't know if it's called frugal life or something it's called. I think I once put a link out there, or at least the name of the show. Big dude. The guy used to be 150 pounds over his weight. And this guy left society, bought this land for cheap in the high deserts of Arizona. Of course, he had talents, and that's the key word, talents, because, he was very intelligent, and he somewhat mechanical, was definitely in the construction trade prior to this, one way or the other. And he knew how to put things together, and he understood basic science, and he got his life together. He only sees people when he wants to. He might have two good friends that he'll occasionally see. He has some animals on the farm that he uses for meat. He built a root cellar to store his foods. He's got like a year's supply of meat from the pigs and whatever else he had there. And, he built a cistern for water. Very inventive guy. He's a big guy with big red beard, and he's making money from selling his natural products that he grows. Preserves and everything. Certain kind of tea. I mean, this guy was so inventive. It's unbelievable, actually, what people can do when they really put their minds to it. TV was better then, too. Yeah, it was, actually. The introduction of canned laughter. Well, I didn't like that. That's psychology, by the way. Because when you're out with a crowd, if somebody starts laughing, you're going to start laughing. Even if it's a horrible movie, if they start laughing, you're going to laugh. You want to be part of the cattle. You know I always talk about cattle on here, right? If you've been following me. Same thing. let's laugh at the crowd. So they introduced this canned laughter on these comedy shows. And it was psychology. They actually used psychology. Because if you took away the canned laughter, would what they do in that TV show, would it really be funny? Chances are it probably wouldn't be. Three's a Crowd, or Three's Company rather, all these shows, if you did not introduce canned laughter, and sometimes these shows are filmed live, and they got this guy, call him the maitre d', or they have a sign that says applause, laugh, and what they do is they'll have a talk with the audience. I mean, I know about this stuff. They have a talk with you. Listen, for the sake of the show, it's going to be live. Laugh at all the jokes. Clap. I'll give you the cue. Just do that for us, please. Let's make this show. We don't want to make it boring. They actually tell the crowd that. Horst says, in a way, it was like the music they played at the silent movies that affected the people. Yeah, music affects people, affects their moods. Absolutely. But with canned laughter, it made people laugh, even if it wasn't funny. But try playing that same TV show again, but this time without the canned laughter. Would you find it funny? That's the question. We're all being psychologically manipulated by everything from the government to even retail stores. Did you know that they used to, boy, am I way off topic here, but let's do about that. Oh, I don't know. A food restaurant could be popular or not. I don't know if they still use this, but what they would do, they had this artificial smells. I'm not kidding you. This is for real. You can't make this up. I could make it up, but I'm not. Artificial smells. It was just a concentration of whatever the product was as close to the smell. And it could be pizza or whatever it was. Like at a mall, especially because the air is contained. And it's a subliminal thing is what it is. It's subliminal. Even billboards were subliminal. They have a way of subliminally make you see words and everything that you may not see visually, but your brain catches it. There's a whole science in this. But what the stores did, the restaurants, is that they actually did this. Maybe they still do. I don't know. To draw you into their business, they'll blow out some kind of ventilation system, whatever, blowing something out there of the smell of the product to make you hungry and want to go to their establishment. Oh yeah, like the new car smell they spray in cars. I think that's purposeful too. Everything is purposeful. You just don't realize it. You just become part of the cattle and you believe everything that everybody says. If you can't think for yourself, then don't think at all. Open your mind. Get out of the box you're in. Be a free thinker. We are allowed to be a free thinker. I could think whatever I want. But to be crucified for what I think, nah. Liquor ads had sexy pics in the eye. Yeah, even smoker. You remember back when they try to make it attractive to be smoking, they'd have this gorgeous chick. They would never show her inhaling, but she always had a cigarette in her hand. They wanted to show people that it was glamorous to smoke or even to drink. Look at all the social events in life. A good example. Great example. Everybody's got a drink in their hand, right? That's how they socialize. That drink is like a membership card to be there. It allows you, with your drink in hand, to approach another party.
I want to buy fish.
Fish. To allow you to approach the other person who also has a drink. Nobody ever really thinks like I do. Maybe they should. There'd be less problems. But they're cattle. They're going to go with the rest of the cattle. Hello, Mark Catley. I'm doing very well, Mr. Mark Catley. Feeling well, doing well, all the way around. Kind of tart, this lemon. But speaking of, I got to blow my nose. If you're gonna, if you're gonna be part of the cattle, then you're never going to grow in your life. It takes a free thinker to create and to do positive things in life. Sometimes you do have to speak your mind. It's according to what the situation is, if it calls for it. There's other times you should just leave things alone. To leave things alone. Because it could be a calamity. Well, no, I still got the stones, baby. I got to go in about a week and have that shock wave thing. They put you on the table in the OR. It's non-invasive, and you go home right after that. You got a machine. There's something above, there's something below, and it sends out these shock waves. You're kind of laying on the side where your kidney is, or your ureter is on that side of your body, whatever. They put water there because the shock waves have to go through the water. They have to go through the water. That's how it works. Yeah. Let's see. Anyway, it could take up to 30 minutes. Well, I will have it. Can you do me a favor? Stop by the machine and let's grab my card. Thank you. Since you're going there. And let's see what else. Why don't you pull out about $50K from the other account?
Okay.
Yeah. You have to go in there anyway. So, yeah, do about $50K on that one. Do $20K on the other one. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Save me some time. Yeah. No, I'll have it cleared up, but there's still one in the kidney, but it's in a spot. It's not terribly big. It's something that's not going to be a real. You got them? Got the cards?
Yeah.
All right, I appreciate it. Thank you, dear. I gotta grab some tissue here. Don't worry, I will be respectful and put this on mute. Mute him! Hold on a second, my friends. Okay, that was very productive. Clean the cobwebs out. Saline, my friend, saline. I'm telling you, like Celine Dion. You could take decongestants, you could do all that shit, but you could do it the natural way. I have a tiny little, I think I've showed you this before, but I have a regular nebulizer, but I got this little portable thing. You could have it so that this goes in your nose, or you could have a mask on this. And in this small chamber, you put some saline solution. Then you turn the puppy on, and basically, you're going to get a saline mist. See? And there you go. Not very complicated. I'm going to shut it off. And let me tell you, a couple of days ago, and I'm not bullshitting, my nose was so congested I couldn't smell anything or even taste my food. It was almost, literally, like somebody poured cement in your nose. Then I started doing this thing, which I've known about this a long time, but I just never really practiced doing that. I need something bigger and better than that. I'll give that to the cats or something. I don't. In a minute. It's not much. They'll eat the toast and whatever too. Yeah. And it actually works because it's kind of like, in a way, it's kind of like an anti-inflammatory and an antibacterial kind of thing. It reduces inflammation, so it actually acts as a anti-inflammatory tool. I think that's how he did when he had the emergency visit. No, I was disappointed with that. Oh, I was very happy when they gave. I said, when I gave an emergency, I think I'm having a medical emergency here. I was having a medical emergency. I most indeed, because it hurt like shit. I can't explain it to you, really. It's something I don't wish anybody, and I do mean anybody actually, no matter who you are, friend or foe, I don't wish that on you. I couldn't do that. Very sharp pain in the kidney area because I had an active infection that reached a point where it was starting to say, hey, here I am, and happened to have a fairly good sized stone right in the fucking ureter. But it was too high up. So I guess the reason, and I was upset because, well, why don't you just take care of it with lithotripsy right down in there? That's called lithotripsy. You found a stone, you got a fluoroscope there, you know where it is, attack the motherfucker. But they couldn't because they'd have to have a whole other setup. And for what they charged me, I mean, they should have done that. But no. Here, take this medicine, wait a few weeks or so, come in, and we're going to break up those fucking stones. The stones. And we'll break that puppy up. So, it's non-invasive. I'm going to tell them, hey, no catheter. I don't need it because I'm not an inpatient. God, I hate a catheter. You got to walk around with this pole everywhere, and you got this bag of, I don't know, saline solution or something in there, whatever. Quite cumbersome. Take the motherfucker out. Which reminds me of a story of Dimitri, a guy I knew who was, what was he? Greek. But you'd think he was a Mexican. But he understood Spanish, too. He operated this rickety, rackety little fix-it shop for cars. And Dimitri was terrible when it came to women. He didn't disrespect them. Does that sound familiar? Someone that doesn't respect women. I mean, really don't. So he found this large one. Me and my friend Bill at the time, we always had names for people. The large one. Or if the person was large, like fat. And it would be also, what other ones? We always had a description having to do with their personality or whatever it might be. We had a kind of a definition on there. I remember this guy, Bill, now I'm getting off the Dimitri thing just for a second. I remember Bill saying that he had a girlfriend that had to wear a hearing aid. It wasn't the best hearing aid. So when you go to have sex with her, this thing would start buzzing away or whizzing somehow, for any reason.
Your medicine.
That would interrupt his train of thought. Yeah, I'll take that. You just remind me about my medicine. What a great gal. What a great gal. Okay, babe. And, okay, train of thought. So he didn't stay with her because he was really in be with his thought process while having sex with her. When that ear device would start buzzing. All right, let's get back to Dimitri. I like to give funny stories on here. Now, as my friend Bill at the time used to say, the large one. That was a way of saying that the woman is fat. The large one. Well, Dimitri found a large one. He didn't care who he had. He couldn't get women very easily. And he really never really had the money to go buy them either, but this one showed up. So, Dimitri kind of had bad language, like some people we know, and kind of looked down on women. To him, they were hoes. You know, that kind of attitude. I think we've heard that before on here. Anyway, one thing or another happened during their session, and I don't know, she got pissed off at him. She just wanted to leave. So Dimitri, like Chris and Sabu would say, would get the job done. He wanted to get the job done before she left. She decided to just run out of there and leave. As the story goes, Dimitri, with his fucking pants and underwear down, with an erection, is yelling to suck the goddamn thing, suck the goddamn thing. I'm not making this up; it's a true story. I've laughed ever since, and I've remembered that ever since. He wanted to get the job done. It wasn't finished. It's not a show for kids today. The anyone at a time lady. What's that? Oh, yeah, we always had names. Like the Seinfeld show. If you're watching the Seinfeld show, I don't know who didn't watch that. They had names for everybody. Okay? You remember the girl that was, he called her a low talker. Then there was a high talker. The girl with the large hands or big feet, whatever it was. Do you remember the low talker? And she'd be talking and really nothing would be coming out of her mouth. Jerry or anybody that was there couldn't understand her. But Jerry always found fault. He always got himself in trouble. So you had the low talker. Then you remember the guy that was the high talker? And on the phone you thought it was a woman? I'm trying to remember that episode. So you had the low talker and you had the high talker. Before Seinfeld, yeah. That was funny. Everything about the show was funny. The girl who had man's hands, when they were in a restaurant, and she did have man's hands, strong man's hands, big man's hands. And she went to go eat that lobster. Jerry just couldn't handle it anymore. She took her hands and she was breaking up that lobster like there was no tomorrow with her bare hands. Great scene. Then there was the one scene with this one girl who was actually very beautiful. But in a certain light, it made her look hideous. Although Jerry was very attracted to her, very attracted. If they went in a restaurant and the lighting above wasn't right, there was a lot of, contrast of light on her face that would actually make her look very hideous. But once they were in a bright light situation, she was beautiful. But Jerry always found a reason to leave these women. Now, in normal circumstances, someone like Jerry, probably would not really get all these women. But he did get some really good looks. There's one woman who liked to be naked around his house all the time. And that was exciting to him. She didn't like wearing clothes. You remember that show? But then it got to the point, it got played out. Put some clothes on. Hoss said we had a store owner lady with a mustache. We never knew what it was. Even at death, the name was Kim. Yeah, there's some women that have mustaches. Where are all the people today? Where are all they this morning? Oh, they're probably listening to the simulcast on Popeye. I'll almost guarantee you, I don't want to go back and get my old phone. Almost guarantee you he's doing a simulcast. What's the difference? Listen to it here, listen to it there. Make any difference, really. Okay, so the point I'm trying to make here, without getting to the really nitty gritty, is that sometimes you start something that you think is going to be beneficial for you, and you got yourself into so deep into this shit that you can't pull out. Just like a guy having sex. He's ready to drop his load, but it's a little too, happening a little bit too fast, and he can't perform what his whole purpose was to not kind of go all the way. So figuring that pulling out was going to solve the problem, but unfortunately, in a situation like that, it doesn't always work. This is not a show for children. Although we got some adult children out there. Oh, Mr. Farley. Yeah, he was. Mark Catley says Frank has a way with words. Yeah, I suppose. I got poetic license to be flowery when I want. Some people have a problem with that. I try not to get too graphic, but still try to make my point. Speak what's on your mind. That's what it's all about. Tell me how you really feel. Tell me how you really feel. It's okay. I can take it. But when you start something, chances are you're going to have to finish it because sometimes you may not have a choice. You got yourself in too deep. You decided to go into the woods and you swore you could find your way back. You weren't intelligent enough to put markers on trees, whether they were ribbons or chalk marks or some kind of way of putting a marker to identify the trail, and you just traveled a couple of miles or into the deep dark forest, and you didn't do that. And you really thought you could find your way back. Like in a cave, you go into a deep cave, and there's so many different chasms, and there's so many different openings. If you didn't make a marker, you might get lost in that cave. And if your flashlight went out, it was a death sentence. It was a death sentence. That's what it was. Your flashlight goes out. Well, you should have brought another flashlight. And you should have had a string. And, spelunkers who want to go deep into caves, and even divers that want to dive in caves, they need to put a string system on, a guide that'll get them back out of that cave. Sometimes you can get very disoriented. That's what kills you. First of all, I can't dive. And I would certainly never go into a cave to explore it. God forbid your oxygen ran out or you damaged your valves on the mask. They still have J valves these days. They used to have something called J valves. Anyway, maybe you got stuck in a little chasm or something. Your tank couldn't fit through and you can't get out. I mean, there's so many variables which could happen to you. I'm not a daredevil in that way at all. Never will be. And I just saw something on a YouTube show where, what country was this? These people were on a kind of a gondola thing in the sky on a railing, like a ski thing. I don't know if it was supposed to be a ride or something. It was 250 feet above the ground. What a vista they had, but there was a storm coming in too. Well, anyway, how many people were up there? Individual seating, and the machine stopped. So, of course, they're dressed in winter clothes. Not enough, because the temperature up at 250 feet was more extreme than at ground level. Now, I don't, they only show you so much on there, and they never show you the finish, because usually it has to do with going to Twitter or go to some account or something, to see the rest of it, kind of a teaser. And they was stuck. First of all, I wouldn't take anything on a little gondola thing 250 feet in the air. That thing was the drop. And sometimes the only thing that was holding you in those seats was some thin chains. No. And then a lot of these amusement park rides are very dangerous. Who put them together? Was it cheap labor? I would not go on amusement park rides. I've been on a few in my life, but I swore I'd never go on them again. You're always hearing stories about how these things break loose, or they get stuck, people falling out, or the whole seating falling. No, I'm not that brave. Haas says, Anita Masigal from Happy Days, and my favorite was Adam West in Batman. You met him. I don't know. He got kind of typecasted into that show. I don't think he did many other movies or anything. That's what happened to a lot of actors and actresses, that they're very much stereotyped into the kind of movie that made them famous. It's like Jim Carrey, who has proven he could do serious roles too. You start to be or typecasted is the word, and you can't get a job unless it's some comedy. But what's his name from 70s show? What the fuck's his name? The cocky one, always getting the girls. How could I forget his name? Though he played like a real idiot in that show. He did a movie called, what is that, Butterflies? Or something like that. Which was very serious. Total turnaround from what he normally would do. The Butterfly Effect. That was it, The Butterfly Effect. He played good. You got to give somebody a chance, is what it is. Let them explore other avenues of their talent. I think Robin Williams done a few roles that wasn't exactly comedy. They have the ability to do it if they're given a chance, but some people, unfortunately, they get typecast, whether it was the original Superman characters or whatever. Whatever role they played, they wind up getting kind of typecast into that shit. Okay, what else do I need to do here? What do I need to do? I got a shower, that's for one. I thought I'd come on here this morning. Glad to have the audience I did. Went down a little bit. They were expecting complete drama because, well, Popeye simulcasts my shows or somebody else picks it up and they're trying to get a hold of something they could use against me some form or way. But I'm well ahead of them. Well ahead. I've learned through the years, being on YouTube as long as I have. So why don't we just kind of sum this up and just say that be careful of what you start, because the ramifications of such could or may not be beneficial in the end. And when you realize what you did was wrong, but you can't pull out, it's going to be an ejaculation somewhere, my friend, where you feel that you got in so deep that you can't stop what you're doing now. Nope. I'm going to go all the way and see what that pans out from this situation. Popeye and Flying Circus are evil. Yeah. Evil reincarnates. I don't know. I just couldn't live Popeye's or Flying Circus's life. Now that guy is bizarro world. And you see the things that he puts on is just bizarro world stuff. Talk about someone's psychology. Pretty scary shit. How people's minds think. Yeah, I could see Flying Circus sitting in a dark room making sperm nips. Where's the rest of the family? Where are they? Maybe not there. Some of the things he does is so bizarre. I mean, come on, isn't Flying Circus actually Dick Insider? Isn't he? Hello, Mr. Merciful. Long-time lurker decided to comment to show support. Well, thank you very much. I'm feeling I'm going to blow my nose again, but I'll hold off on that. Okay, do you guys kind of get my point I'm trying to make on here? Sometimes, you try to remedy a situation by acting on something, but not thinking what you're doing. You know, I think in many cases, don't get involved with something. When you get involved with something, then yeah, you're getting involved. You're getting involved. And sometimes I could turn on you in a bad way. Sometimes it's good to keep your nose out of situations because it could work against you. And this applies to just about everything in life. We're not going to narrow it down to one thing. It just could apply to anything in life. Looks like they say never volunteer. Never volunteer on a job or in the service or something. I mean, never volunteer because you don't know what you're going to get yourself into. Isn't that the truth? Don't volunteer. Make an assessment of what you're doing because it could work against you. I don't know, the law of odds or averages, whatever you want to call it. Um, the odds are not always in your, not always in your favor. Some things are better left alone. My goodness. My God, Magnum. Leave it alone. Jesus Christ. Why make things more complicated than they actually are? But some people, it's called ignorance. 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 Being an ignoramus. Of course, like I said, and what a comparison, really. You start taking a piss, you're going to want to finish that piss, right? You want to empty your bladder. You're not going to stop in midstream, right? Well, sometimes with people, they start something, they figure, I got to finish this because I decided to do what I'm going to do. I can't bail out of this one. I'm in too goddamn deep. Can't pull out. Can't stop in midstream. No. I got to go all the way and hope for the best. But that's kind of wishful thinking because, as I said, not everything turns out the way you want. All of us, me included. Not everything. Not everything. But, you take a chance and you do something and you hope it's going to work out in your favor. Unfortunately, it doesn't always work that way because we don't live in a perfect world. Some people want to retire from Social Security. They don't want to take the 62. No. Sounds like Jerry, doesn't it? I'm going to wait till I'm 67 because I want to get the biggest bang for my working buck. In a perfect world, you will live to be 67. What a waste. And take and opt out for 67 instead of 62 when you're allowed to do this. I want the bigger money. Well, is there a good guarantee you're going to live to be 67? There's no guarantees in life. Sorry to disappoint you folks, but there are no... The only thing that's guaranteed is fucking stupidity. Guaranteed is ignorance. Guaranteed is hate. Guaranteed lowlifes. Guaranteed stupidity. Taxes and death. That's reality. No sugarcoating anything here. That's reality. People don't think before they enact upon something, and it winds up turning on them on a vicious way. It's kind of one of those situations. Can't say I didn't warn you. Yeah. Oh, he's a big troll. It's probably someone we know, and there's a bunch of troll accounts on there. You know that. Why'd you bring him up? I'm gonna blow my nose again pretty soon here. Don't worry, I won't do it on live. Got to keep on hitting that saline. Celine Dion. Hey, Popeye, what's up today, man? Oh, it must be nighttime. Did you get your bingo in? Maybe he got unleashed and got to go to a casino. Of course, he's always winning the big money at the casino, of course. What was he going to say? I lost my fucking... Besides losing his mind, he lost all his money. Any one of these people could be any one of the other people. You have to understand something here on YouTube. You might think that you have a lot of adversity on here. And you might have a little adversity from a group of people, maybe only a handful, but it would seem that you have a lot of adversity because the people have the capability of creating what we call sock accounts. So they come under different names because they're cowards. And they make it look like all these people are against an individual. It's not always the case. It's not always the case. Just go under a different counter name. And if you're making comments in somebody's live show, you could just go switch off. You can make your comment under one name, come back, it doesn't take long, come back under a different name and make another comment. Very easy to do. And some people think that I have sock accounts. I could sit here or lay here and I could honestly tell you, I do not have any other accounts. Zero. I'm not that guy, Chris and Sabu. Somebody's been using Chris and Sabu's name. That's not me. I do remember somebody making comment, oh, that's really, what's his name? No, it's not me. I say what I need to say. I'm not a coward where I need to go under a different name in order to express myself. I may not go on camera much, but I will say what I need to say right here and now. I don't need to cower under a sock account name. You're gonna have to excuse me for a couple of seconds here. Ah, boy. Much better now. I feel much better now. Okay, is it weigh myself time? I don't know if I should do that. Hold on. I don't know. Nah. I don't trust this scale. Let's zero out. I don't think. Ow! It's cracking. It's cracking, I tell you. What the hell is this? Nah, I think I need a new scale here. Oh my God. It's going wacky doodle. What? Let me move this around. What I can think about 165, which is, let's see, that would be about a little more than 5 pounds of weight loss since all this shit has been going on with the stone shit, procedures and medicine and that kind of crap. Yeah, I could live with that. That's actually a really good weight, but I feel more comfortable around 170. That's just me. It's a good weight. Either way. Okay, does anybody have any legitimate questions for me? I'm not sure how much longer I'll be on here. I got a couple things I got to do. I'm kind of procrastinating, to be honest with you. God, I want to get on that treadmill, but I don't know, because I got a stent, or I don't know what it is. They don't want me to do any, you know, strenuous or whatever exercise. They don't even want me to carry a goddamn 10-pound weight. I mean, come on. Seriously? Seriously? Which means I haven't been doing my hand weights. And that's not good. Well, there's going to be a lot of makeup time, unfortunately. As Chris and Sabu says, gotta get the job done. It gets the job done. Got a little more dialogue here. It might keep me going just a little bit because I'm trying to, I told you, I'm kind of procrastinating on a couple of chores I have to do around. Out for a minute or two. You know, when you retire, you want your life to run social media machine. The water was not that high. I threw one little piece of carpet in here. As I said, not everything is perfect. I didn't want to use that much water for this one piece of floor carpet. The fuck? Are you serious? Hell. That's a waste of water. I'm gonna have to reuse this water for something that's really dirty or something, then give it a good rinse. Okay, I guess I had the microphone off. I was talking about my friend in New York who haven't. Now it's been almost a month. He's not answering. He has cancer. I don't know where I let off on here. Had the microphone off. I do that all the time, and I'll try to catch up with what I was going to say. And I haven't heard from my friend from. He developed some form of cancer, and he would always manage to come to the phone. But there was a time that just chemo and all that shit, coordination, whatever. He was falling. Actually broke his wrist on top of every fucking thing else. It was hard for him to get to the phone. I figured, well, it's probably what's going on. He's probably in worse shape. He'd like to talk to me, but come on. When you're feeling the way you do under cancer, you don't feel like talking to anybody at all. Or he might have passed away, and I really don't know. I can understand if you're ill like that, you just don't even have the strength to get to the phone or to talk to anybody on the phone. He never really needed, except a couple of his relatives that are still alive would call him now and then. He lived a very isolated life. He might be gone. This is a friend of over 65 years. Who has a friend for that long, really? Good guy, but he just never got to experience life because his parents were too restrictive in so many ways. He was kind of like the boy in a plastic bubble because his immune system was not strong. Well, the antibiotics he took, he always had a lot of vascular problems. He had veins in his legs that would pop, blood would squirt out. I'm not kidding. Ah, poor guy never got laid in his life. He tried. There was some Mexican chick or Spanish chick in his building, his previous building. He was in there for like forever, this building, on William Street in Mount Vernon. They lived there for almost ever. She was a professional, so he popped up $50 to finally get laid. Lo and behold, he couldn't. Several reasons: lack of experience, shame, whatever, or because of medications and whatnot, he couldn't complete the process. Very sad. He's upset with his life that always telling me, at least you lived life. You've been to a number of places, seen things I'll never see. You made trips. You got a girlfriend. You seem to have your health. He never had any of the above. Imagine his life. It's kind of like Fazio in many ways. And I keep on bringing up Fazio, but I see a correlation here, and that's why I bring him up. And he did see doctors, though. But when Larry's mom got sick with some kind of cancer, his father wanted nothing to do with it. Larry, it's your responsibility. Besides living a horrible life, didn't have his freedoms, never experiencing life because the parents were overprotective, he had the responsibility of treating his mom, who had an open wound, I don't know, in the chest. I don't know if she had breast cancer, whatever it was. The father didn't want to get involved with it. Didn't want to get involved. He was bad enough in his own psychology and depression. And he had to go take care of his mother, who, by the way, at the same time, was very psychologically ill. She was a mental case, as he told me. The rarity he went anywhere, he went out in a car, somebody's car. She wanted to jump out of the car and jump over the side cliff. I want to talk about a dysfunctional family. That's a great example right there. Is it not? So sometimes you got to be happy with what you have. And that's basically Larry's philosophy. He said, you might complain about this or that now and then, but think about it. Look what you've been able to accomplish. You have jobs, you managed to go to college, you were married, you have a child. I never had a family. I never had any children, he said. What he's trying to say with me is don't complain about anything. You could be me, is what he was trying to say. And he was right. I understood because I knew his mother and father. His mother was very strange. She always wore all this rouge on her face, white as a ghost. She'd be the kind that would wear a fur jacket in the summer. I'm not kidding you. Larry, I remember the building we lived in. That's how I met him, on the fourth floor. He would look out the window, that tiny little apartment he lived in, very top floor, and watch the kids, me and other kids, playing in the yard. When it snowed, we'd be building a little igloo or a snowman, and his mother would not allow him to get involved with that. She's afraid he's going to get sick, or because something happened to him. What a horrible scenario. What a horrible life that he led. And if Larry did pass away, I always remember him saying that he doesn't want to die, but sometimes I welcome it, is what he said. And in some people's situation, I can understand that way of thinking. Absolutely. My mind is not there. I didn't live the life that he did, or lack of life. But I was fortunate enough to experience a lot in life. I've had the women, there's no question about that. Yes, he was. Yes, he was. Larry Shillio was his name. His father was Al or Albert. His mother's name was Rose. A very nice woman otherwise. I used to come over there, the only person to come and visit him. She'd make a sandwich and some chicken noodle soup to have lunch with Larry. They always appreciated me, even his father. He said that I was the only person that ever really came over there, a friend to Larry. It's a shame. So, I guess the message to this is that try to live your life the best that you can under any circumstance. Don't let anybody get you down. Dust yourself off and get up again. Yes, he was an only child. Yes, he was. Only child. His father lived through the Depression. He worked as a maintenance guy for a hotel in a town in Westchester County called Bronxville. Not the Bronx, but Bronxville. Kind of a more elite community. He didn't make much money, but this guy lived as if the Depression was going to happen anytime soon, that train of mind. He only bought what they needed to buy for food and for medicine. Did not replace any furniture. Nope. Did not anything. He only spent on what he needed. So, he built up quite a bit, I guess, of money in a bank that Larry has been basically living off. No, he's not getting money from the government. He's living off his father, or was living off his father's money that had dividends, whatever. Must have had a special account. During those days, you actually made interest from a bank. And that's what Larry's been living on, because Larry never worked on the books. He didn't get no Social Security. He's getting some kind of help. I think maybe food stamps. I think, here's the deal. In the way the government works. You ready for this? Okay. If you got money in the bank, and you're getting any kind of state help or anything at all, okay, that's the state's money. I said, once you take your money out, see, once he would run out of money, then he could get these benefits. But as long as he had money in the bank, I said, why'd you even tell them that you had that? Why did you do that? Well, I don't want to get in trouble. Tell him you got a gambling habit. You gambled your money away. You don't have any more money in the bank. But he put himself in a certain prison. Just like if you're old and you get put into state home, what do you think these people do? They put the house that they own under their family member's name, a daughter, son, whatever. Because the state will take over your assets, all of them, because they are spending money on you in a state institution of some sort, nursing home, whatever it is, assisted care. Mr. Berkshire said the soul is eternal, Frank. Larry will find this happiness. And I'm sure my brother did too. I hope there is something. I really do. My brother was in the same boat in a different way, and he had so many medical problems. I don't know how he lived to be 72. I used to talk to him about that. I think it's the last Christmas. I think it's the last birthday. I said, man, you've been saying that for how many years now? You're probably going to outlive me. Well, he didn't wind up outliving me. Although he died at 72. I'm a little younger. A little bit. But every year it was the same thing. But I think he died in peace, though. I don't think he died in pain. It was going to happen. And realistically, it should have happened years ago. I didn't want it to happen. I'm just saying, I just don't. I'll just say that he was a very strong person. I couldn't be as strong as him. I am strong in many ways, but what he persevered was not wished on anybody, because he had so many different illnesses. Every organ in his body was affected by just his whole metabolics were off. Liver, you name it, prostate, liver, lungs, heart, arteries, everything. Diabetes. That's the key. The diabetes could make your whole body totally fucked up. If there is a peace, then I hope he's in peace. That's the best I could say for anyone that died, whether I liked you or not. If you could find peace in death, at least there's some kind of peace. Trouble about the Philippines, though, is that I think as long as you're in a hospital, if you're in bad pain, as long as you're admitted to that hospital, they will give you the things you need, morphine and all that shit. But this is not a 100% statement of accuracy, but I don't know if they send you home with anything like that, fentanyl and morphine, if you got a cancer or something. Because you'll know what pain is. From what I understand, cancer, according to what kind you have and what the situation is, and other situations can be really, really painful. Everybody deserves to be pain-free. Everyone. That means everyone. Merciful says our souls are eternal. Our lives on this world has just a fraction of a second if our souls live forever. Well, if we have a soul, some people believe that we do. I'm kind of divided on that. But peace is peace. People just can't be peaceful in life either. They always need drama for their channels, on YouTube or off YouTube or any other social media. They live for drama, but that's kind of a grandiose statement. They live for drama, but the question is why? Because they don't have enough going on in their life. They want to make somebody feel bad or destroy their life. That's what they want to do. And they find their happiness by doing this to other people. Then it all comes back in their face in a big fucking way. That's what happens. Okay, I've been on here long enough, guys. I'm probably going to get off in a few minutes here. Anybody want to add anything, feel free to do so. I got to shower up. I already ate. Oh, shit. There is some stuff I definitely got to do today. And what was I going to say that I couldn't say on here? How do I say this on here? Let's read. Mr. Mercer said we are on the planet to learn what we can comprehend to prepare for the next life, if there is a next life. It's like a baby in a womb. They can't comprehend the world it's about to enter. God, if they only knew, they'd go back in, That's why in a womb it develops a brain, eyes, ears to prepare. You back? Okay, hold on, folks. Yeah, I was going to say something here, but I probably shouldn't really. Except I could
Ah,
probably say is that be careful on what you pursue because not everything turns out the way you want to. Is that all of it? All right.
di mo nila. Ang nabili dito kay
Okay.
Sakto ikaduha.
Okay.
Karnero, ikaduha. Asa ba yung ikapulo? Ada na.
Okay. All right. We'll look at that. Uh,
Saan masod na eh? Uy.
okay. Didn't show up. Don't worry. Can you let Gilda know that your supporters appreciate the support she gives you, Frank? Well, with supporters I do have on here, thank you. They're mostly trolls. Just understand something. Do the right thing in your life. Do what you think is actually right. Don't do a wrong because you're upset with somebody. Because it could have a way of coming back at you. You know, whether you want to believe in faith and karma and all that shit. Well, it's not really shit because I believe in it. You could do a lot of things out of anger. You could say a lot of things out of anger. You can put things together against somebody out of anger as a form of retribution. It doesn't always work out the way you want. But thank you for those words, Mr. Merciful, whoever you may be. And you got to understand me, Mr. Merciful, that the trolls like to come to my channel, and a lot of them pretend to like my show or like me. But I take things with a grain of salt on here because that's how they kind of butter me up to get information about me. They figure I'm your friend. I'm your true supporter. Well, I had many of those in the past. But when they did something wrong and I blocked them, oh, they were my enemies. And they joined the other side. They jumped fence real quick. And a lot of people are also under sock accounts. Dr. Mercer says in time she will regret it. In time she will see he used her. Oh, okay, you're making reference to somebody here. Now, I never said on my show I was making reference to anyone on here at all. But I see what you're talking about. Gotcha. Point made. True. It kind of covers basically what I'm saying on here, really. Although his show is not about her. Her. Oh, blow my nose time. Hold on. You know, at least I'm being respectful when I blow my nose. I may eat on camera, but on my show, but you know, I'm not going to do projectile phlegm projectile like somebody else did on here on camera. It was disgusting. Leave it for the landlord to clean up, and cigarette butts throw it in the yard so the landlord could pick it up. I have some manners and I have some respect. Moving forward, zero names. Yeah, it's a way to go. Everything has a beginning and everything has an end and everything comes out in a wash. And you know me. If you've been following me at all, you know that's what I say all the time. It all comes out in a wash. Sometimes you got to remind yourself when you're doing something And before you do it, you have to ask yourself, what are the ramifications of me doing this or doing that? Although, yeah, I want to get revenge against somebody because I feel that they did me wrong or did somebody special to me very wrong. And I got to get even. Well, I understand that to a point. But I got to tell you, it just don't always work out the way you want. Not all the time. You may get lucky, but it's not. Nothing is. Truthfully, nothing is guaranteed in life. We know that, except death and taxes. You all know that. Do I have another one of these medications? Where is it? I got to take this potassium chloride shit. Ha! I'm able to take that 3 times a day. It does certain things. Let me get all technical here. Huh. Another trip to the pharmacy, I guess. Oh, they want me to take it. I'm supposed to take it. No, don't have any here. No. He used to look over his shoulder every time somebody drove by. I laughed my ass off. What a way to live. Yeah, I agree with you. That's not the way to live. Not even remotely. That is not the way to live. But sometimes, you put yourself in a position, and it's sad that you have to do that. And it's like, in life, you've done wrong to a lot of people, then turn around and say, oh, I never did nothing. Well, why are you where you are? You must have did something, right? Must have did something to piss somebody off, or government, or whatever it may be, right? Makes sense, right? Of course it does. Well, they'll complain. Oh, it wasn't me. I never did that. No cigarette time. I'm doing things as I'm talking to you, okay? I'm always multitasking. Thank you very much. I don't just sit there and do nothing all day, and I'll give you my guarantee on that. So I don't know, maybe people will learn a valuable lesson from my shows because you've been following all this crap and you all have a damn good idea what's been going on, don't you? Maybe a lesson learned for some people. You can't always get what you want. Try so hard, but you might find you just get what you need, not always what you want. Isn't that so true? I can't get everything I want in life, but you know what? What I do have, I'm happy with. At least I'm happy with my life. I'm not complaining on here. And you never hear me complaining about my life. I may talk about certain things in the Philippines that I think are really bizarre in the culture, and some things are great. But all in all, I've never come on here and I'm really complaining about life itself. I don't know, I think I'm in a good position. More than most, I would say. I could venture to say anyway. I can't use that as a solid statement. To other people may be doing better than me. Merciful says, many of your haters are, well, yeah, jealous of me. Well, yeah, obviously so. They shouldn't be. Why don't they just get their life together, not worry about mine? My God. My God, Magnum. Get your own life. Try. You may like it. Push yourself a little bit. Sometimes you got to push yourself a little bit. Then there's these people that make fun of your age. I love that one. Call me old man and blah, 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 blah. Well, I don't know. Do you have the fountain of youth? You mean, it's like that movie? Are you getting younger rather than getting older? Was that Mel Gibson's movie? Forever Young or so. I don't know, what was that movie? Forgive me, but some old men here like me, we don't have the most sharpest memory in the world. Catley says, Frank has a fantastic life, an amazing woman. The envy of Frank's haters is palpable. It's pretty much what it comes down to. Look, I don't have a perfect life. I never said I did. Certain changes I could make. But I'm what age I am. I can't change my age. I just don't have to think like an old man, dress like an old man, act like an old man, go to bingo, ride a mobility fucking scooter. Hope that never has to happen with me. Then I never go out. Hell no. Hell no. Hell no. Hell no. Again, hell no. Hell no. Hell no. Hell no. I'd rather die than to be immobile. And I'll tell you something, I had a small experience when I went for that procedure where they gave me an epidural in the back, and I was paralyzed from the waist down. What a weird situation that was. I was going to say what a weird feeling it was, but there was no feelings. There was no feelings. Yeah, world peace. Some people don't get it. You're a very young 70, Mr. Whittlefield. People talk to me on the phone, whatever. They would never know my age. They would never know my age. And I'm not shitting. I don't look like a young man, but I'll tell you what, when I meet people for the first time, many times, they were surprised with my age. Oh, sure. I'll use like Just for Men for my hair. But I always leave a little gray in there. I'm not trying to hide that I'm getting older. It's just that it works for me because of my natural color of my hair. It's not like Steven Seagal, whose hair used to be jet black. He's like in his 80 now or something, right? But he uses black hair dye. But, his face is very old, so it doesn't work for him. But if you're lucky to have light brown, dark blonde hair, you can make this product work for you. It doesn't have all the shit in there, And what it does, it has your hair looking like your natural hair. And if you have the face to match it, which means that you don't look older than the hills, so it's so obvious that, oh, he colored his hair. I can tell. No, it actually works out really well for me. You can see what I have to spend on this. I ordered it. It'll take till the third week of this month to get it. Expensive shit when you got to order it. Hey, man, I stand behind the product. I'll endorse it. You don't have to be old in a certain sense if you don't want to be. Because when you're looking good, you feel good. And when you look at yourself in the mirror and you say, okay, not too bad for a dude my age, you accomplished something. Because it makes you feel better about yourself. And you don't feel like an old man. If you let yourself go, your hair is all silvered out. I know some people say, hey, but that's natural. I'm not going to, try to hide some of the grays on my hair. I earned every gray hair on my head. That's what most people say. I don't have to give in to older age. I don't have to act like a senior. I don't dress like a senior with khakis and socks up to my fucking knee and black shoes and go to bingo and that kind of shit. Shoot me already. Shoot me. I will never live like that. Not if I could help it. Philippines should add a few years to your life. Well, it'll help if I stop smoking, right? I got it all together. Besides aches and pains, and of course calcium buildup in bones and this and that, like everybody gets, I'm not in bad health. I got some ailments like anybody else has, but truth, I don't have heart disease. I don't have hypertension. I don't have diabetes, and that's like so imperative. if I had those items I just mentioned, that would definitely be a deficit to my longevity. Not that smoking helps. That's going to take some years off your life until you quit. You want to add that into the equation, and I always do. I'm not counting the days or years, and I'm not contemplating going anywhere anytime soon. The only thing I can say to you, my vitals are all good. Cholesterol level is acceptable. I got to do another one, by the way, real soon, actually, to satisfy an insurance company. Oh, they want everything from me. Nico is next to go. Oh, the guys with socks and their sandals. Yeah. Well, I don't really been wearing sandals. I wore sandals in Hawaii, but special kind that stayed on. It wasn't flip-flops. Everybody in Hawaii wore flip-flops. I didn't wear flip-flops. You certainly want to wear them here in the Philippines because there's so much bacteria and so much filth. I wear socks all the time with my sneakers, all the time. I was watching a YouTube video. Water's a couple of feet tall in the streets. We got all these kids playing in there, swimming in there. And I'm thinking, oh my God, the ignorance. What have these parents taught their child? You can't swim around in that swill. It's horrible. You got sewage in there. But, call a third world country, and people will believe in what they want to believe in. They'll let their children do certain things that they shouldn't be doing. Then they got more problems when the kid gets sick, and they can't afford to bring him to the hospital. Yeah, I saw pictures of Don C. Yeah. Popeye might be actually a year or two younger than me. I don't know. But I know my understanding is that if the last thing I've ever seen that showed him look a lot older than what he actually is. Yeah. By the way, I have a question. Now, Ed Lippert died. Does anybody know what he died of? Was it a heart attack? Was it diabetes? Was it... has anybody got any... I'm just curious. Well, what did he die of? Don C. could be about 95. Well, he has a little bit of weight on him. I've seen him when he did an interview. It was on camera with somebody, a couple people. Was it Ricky? Yeah, Don C. is not exactly a spring chicken, really, and I don't know. Mr. Wisdom. No, I haven't heard anything how he died. I mean, I just out of curiosity. I pretty much know he had kind of a belly. I don't think he was at his proper rate, proportion in weight. And I know he ate a lot of pork. He used to raise it, All that swine. Yeah, I am. I got a piece of carpet in here, but you see this machine leaks a little bit. You turn the water source off, but you have to put a washer in the, or tighten it. Oh, no wonder. Okay. No wonder. This needs to be tightened. I gotta find a pair of pliers. Yeah, I could do that much. That's a lot of waste of water. Okay, how do we kind of finalize this show? Oh, we wash... Oh my God. We wash a lot of clothes. We're all using towels to shower. There's always socks, underwear, clothing for the two kids that live here and while her daughter visits. That's right, her certified public accountant daughter. Quite intelligent woman, as most of her kids are. She got quite a family, really. They're all doing good. Even in high school, they were getting scholarships, they're getting awards. Every one of them. Even the one that's still in junior high right now, just got into junior high. He's doing very well. Very, very well. They all are. They're all amounting to something. We got one of them now in college that she's putting through, and he's going to be political science. He wants to be a lawyer, of all things. Certainly welcome in a family, that's for sure. We got pliers. There's water coming out. There's always water dripping in the wash machine. I know why,
Yeah.
because I see that the nut on there is not tight. So I'm gonna have to tighten that up. I've seen pliers somewhere, or something that resembles pliers around here. Some of you get workers coming over and I don't know, some of this stuff conveniently disappears. It's like magic. Okay, here we are. I actually found a pair. I gotta tighten this up. Excuse me for a minute. All right, hold on. Men at work. Men at work.
Yeah, that one is.
This one here is not the proper pair for what I need. I need some channel locks, but anyway, it's not loose anymore. It doesn't feel loose, so, and I don't see any dripping happening, so I think I took care of that problem. Thank you very much. There's some things I could do on my own, believe it or not. People don't really know is that I've actually worked with a lot of tools in my life. Even a jackhammer. I used to get into interior demolition. I used to work with, tell you the name of the company, called Harbor Properties in Seattle. And they would renovate old buildings to make apartments out of them and refurbish everything. And we destroy everything around. Jackhammers, cut-off saws. I did all that shit. I don't talk about all this stuff. I've done everything from scaling, descaling ships, rust. Everything from pressure washers to hand tools to gas-powered tools, electrically operated tools. But I don't talk about that all the time like it's... Don't forget, I've been a laborer in the job market most of my working life. Garden tools, aeration, okay, tillers, shit, forklifts. I've done all that shit. But people like to lead other people to believe that I don't know what hard work is. Hard work is when you're on a freighter ship, a big freighter ship, where the cargo hold looks like a stadium size. That's how big. And by hand, like passing the baton, you're throwing these 60-pound bags from one person to the other. And this goes on and on and on, the dust in the air. And I worked in freezer holds of ships. Okay, you break the hatch, they call it, and you got a frozen department with crab or whatever other product it might be. You start it off, remove a few boxes until you get to the point you have enough room to get in there, enough people to come down. You have to throw these heavy boxes of frozen crab and so forth, or halibut, onto a pallet and signal the guy that's working the stinger. We had a stinger then we had to also wrap it in rope to pull it out of there. And this will go on all fucking day. I've been inside of storage tanks, applying Precrete. It's kind of a concrete, it's a sealant, it's kind of a coating. And these tanks are going to be made for fuel, whatever they're made for. You crawl in these fucking tanks and you're applying this Precrete. Now, the more dangerous job I didn't do, and somebody died from that, is these huge tanks where they used something different. It was more of a black material. I forgot what the hell it was. But you had to wear an oxygen mask in there or else you die of the toxic fumes. And there was a few people that it happened to. Shit, I was climbing up on big towers that contained, over in West Seattle, hot tar, asphalt. And you had to work on the girders, the everything that was riveted on the top, because you didn't know where the rest of the sheet metal would give in. If you fell into a tank of that, you're dead. In fact, I hurt myself once because we were working with high pressure, hot steam pressure washers. And for a moment of not thinking, you go to grab the wand. You got to be wearing gloves, but at some moment I didn't. I don't know what happened. Burned the shit out of my hand. Had to go home. Hot, burning hot. So I did some pretty challenging things, actually. And people like to downplay the things I've done. Well, I worked more than that, really, because maybe the jobs I had weren't totally steady all the time. But hell, I was even in a plating industry. I worked in plating, metal plating, airplane parts, where you're plating material. Worked in a glass factory, a window. I worked at a very low level, G level, in a federal job in federal archives and records place. Very regimental. It's like being in the service or something. I wore a lot of hats. So it doesn't mean I didn't work. No, I stopped working around 48, and I had hurt my back really bad. And my profession, really, at the time, really was it was labor. And I always had to watch myself after that. To this day, you might see me working in the yard here and there. Very calculated what I'm doing. Never really lifting over a certain weight. No, no. Because I had an episode of sciatica one time, and that was killer. I don't know which was worse, the sciatica or the kidney hurting on me when it did. Maybe equal, I don't know. There was certain light duties that I could perform to a certain level. But I'm not on disability. I'm on regular Social Security. There was a period of time I was on a disability status, but I'm not anymore. I'm on just regular Social Security like anybody else. Yeah, I had a physical injury. My back is pretty fucked up. I saw my x-rays and the findings on there. Even the doctor said, yeah, your spine is pretty fucked up. Because you see, I have a certain level of scoliosis, curvature of the spine. No, I don't walk like a crab, like fucking Nico said. But I don't walk like an army soldier, that's for damn sure. No, I don't. I never did. Any girlfriend I had, Frank, straighten up. Come on, walk straight. See, like I'm walking beyond my body. My hands are out, trying to go forward in one direction when my body is the other direction. No, I don't have the straightest spine in the world, but I don't have a hump on my back. I don't have anything like that. But no, I'm not. No, I'm no army soldier in stature. That's for damn sure. I could tell you that. I don't walk like a soldier. Back, head straight, shoulders straight. No, I don't. I never did. Never did. Well, because if I've been sitting for a while, for any length of time, I get back pain. And if I get up, the back pain acts up on me until I just straighten up my body and I'm okay. Yeah, sometimes. Yeah. But it also has to do with the scoliosis. I remember my daughter was worried about that because she knew her mother had pretty bad scoliosis, her mom, my ex-wife. She asked me, do you have scoliosis? I mentioned, oh no, that means I have it too. I think she does. I think she actually does. Yeah. So yeah, no, I can't. And for good reason. That was my profession. I'm proud of it. It was labor, blue collar, man, all the way. I didn't have no problem. I never had a problem with that. I never ever had a problem with blue collar work. Never. No, when I first getting up from sitting down, I got some lower back pain. So when I get up, no, I'm not straight as an arrow until I just walk and then I'm straight again. But I got some lower back pain and all that. That's about it. Best explanation I can give you on that. Okay, guys, I've been on here over 2 hours and 20 minutes. I cannot even believe it. She went and did chores downtown, and I'm still on the fucking phone here. Boy, how time flies when you're having fun here. But I appreciate the audience. Thank you to my real supporters out there. I find people coming in here that admit to me that, look, I haven't talked on your channel, but I've been kind of a lurker. I think Mr. Merciful was one of them. But thank you for being brave enough to come on and converse. I appreciate that. And I'm just going to give you guys the same advice I end my show with all the time, mostly, really. It all comes out in the wash. That's one of them. And keep to your values. Keep to your beliefs. Be strong against adversity. But I don't think that's what I was going to say. Well, be real to yourself. Okay, don't be hateful. Anybody could label you anything you want, but it doesn't mean it's true. You could be gullible and naive enough to believe the shit that you hear on YouTube, but 99% of it or 98% of it is all bullshit. Mark says, thanks for the classic, my Philippines interest fireside chat. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Never changed who we were on here. We never changed. I never will change on here for as long as I'm going to continue to do any shows on here. But I think you know in your hearts that that's been dwindling. I think you could hear it in my voice. I think you can surmise that, you know, I got the will and all that to want to come on and do more. But then I understand that you could feel the hesitation. Sometimes I think you could actually feel that when I talk. And I understands. They understand. Yeah, baby.
When it comes to songwriting, nobody does it better than Carly Simon. For decades, her...
Well, I agree. Carly Simon's pretty cool. Huh. Wait a second here. Okay. We're going to begin with my theme song, and we're going to end with it, my friends. I hope you learned something from my show. And I'll end up by saying, be careful what you wish for. Be very careful what you wish for. Because, you might not always get what you want. You just may not. And there's a lot of wishful thinking out there. There's nothing wrong with wishful thinking, but, you know, be aware of the reality in life that not everything is going to turn out the way you would actually like it to turn out. It's not the way life is. I mean, it simply isn't. There's a lot of things I wish I could have done in my life I didn't do. You know, there's a lot of wishful thinking. Keeping that in mind. What else I need to say before I need to depart here pretty soon? Keep in mind, I don't come on YouTube to start trouble. I like to end trouble. There's a big difference that you have to be aware of. There's a huge difference. And when adversity comes my way, I have no choice but to deal with it and do the best I can to deal with something. What choice do you have? You can just give up and let somebody win, but I don't look at things for like winning something. Basically, it's not a contest. It's never been. It's never been a contest to me, and it never will be. I'll play the game, but I play to win. I don't like anybody disrupting my life and what is good in my life. And I think you know by now that I will fight just about anything on here to keep it real. Sometimes you gotta know when to fold, you know what I mean? Sometimes you do. Don't push your luck. So if it doesn't turn out your way, well, you got nobody to blame but yourself, really. That applies to every one of us. You do something wrong, you got nobody to blame but yourself. Oh gosh, let's see something here. Hold on a second here. I wish I had the chair back. I really do. Because that was unique. You must admit that. How I started and ended the show. Thank you, folks, for tuning in. It's been a very long show this morning. But I think in many ways, I made my point. You just have to read between the lines. I don't label myself a liberal or anything. I'm just me, whatever that is. Okay, folks, thank you for coming by and sharing your thoughts with me. Have a lovely day.